Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. Today's video we're going to talk start collecting Warhammer Age of Sigmar, and today we're going to take a look at the Sons of Behemat and how we can build an army of these Gargans using the Regiments Renown inside their army list as well. We're going to go through the contents of the Big Grix Cruel Shots, which is the destruction available regiment of Renown for everyone except Cruel Boys. And then we'll take a look at some Gargant units we can use to expand upon and build a force around with all these pieces combined, and show you a little sample 1,000 point army list for you to use as some inspiration for putting your own force together using Big Grix Cruel Shots and the Sons of Behemat together in Warhammer Age of Sigmar. And so, to start with, first of all, we have Big Grix Cruel Shots. Now, these are going to contain, first of all, the Man-Skewer Bold Boys and the Beast-Skewer Killbow, both of which are really decent Oryx shooting units. Now, they have, first of all, on the big Killbow there, it's got a cool rule where it can do some really decent damage to a monster with its nice big shooting ability. And then, you know, you've got Rend, you've got a decent amount of shots coming out of them. And what's cool is your abilities on these units. Now, Big Grix Cruel Shots here, first of all, you're going to have the Backstab and Big Shot. The Beast-Skewer Killbow in this regiment will have the Hero keyword. And then you'll have Toxin Laden Skewers, which effectively will port over the mortal wound damage dealing ability that the Cruel Boys have in their own faction along with these models. So anytime you roll a 6 to hit, you do an amount of mortal wounds equal to the damage of said ability. Now, you've also got the Skewer Again ability, where if any wounds or mortal wounds caused by a shooting attack made by this regiment of Renown's Beast-Skewer Killbow are allocated to an enemy monster and not negated, you can pick any number of other models in this regiment of Renown and say they're focusing fire, and if you do so until the end of phase, you add one to the attack's characteristic of missile weapons used by the models, but they must all target that enemy monster which the Killbow has hit. So really good at being able to take down big threats all at once. And so then we have the Gatebreaker Mega Gargan. Now, the Gatebreaker Mega Gargan is one of many different variations of Gargants you can do to fit within the 1,000 point list we're doing. The only one you can't fit in to make a legal list is King Brod himself, but any of the other Gargants will work. Some of them will leave you with points left over and a decent amount to pretty much ensure you get the triumph, but this is the most expensive one that's not King Brod, so this is the one that we can fit in. And for me, I really do love the Gatebreaker. Now, this is going to hit like an absolute truck. It is, of course, a Mega Gargan in its own right, so 35 wounds, 4 up save there. Now, you've got the Fort Crusher Flail, which is its big weapon. You've got 6 attacks, 4s, 3s, Rend 3, damage 4. And then, of course, you've got extra attacks coming from your Almighty Stomp, your Death Grip, and stuff like that as well. Crushing Charge means you can do some mortal wounds when you charge. Your Death Grip, you can auto-slay some enemy models around you. Smashdown is this model's big particular thing where it can effectively stop your opponent's terrain features from working on the table. Other than that, you've also got Pulverizing Strike, where you can effectively do a nice big Superman punch and do a ton of mortal wounds with one attack. And the last thing we bring into this force are the Man Crusher Gargants. Now, what's really cool is Man Crusher Gargants can be taken as either singular models or in units of 3. There's no 2 model units, it is 1 or 3. They're both battle line though, which is really cool. And don't forget that the big Mega Gargants are also all battle line as well. This opens up a ton of play options. Now, the Man Crusher Gargants, you know, they still hit pretty decent. The massive club there has 4 attacks, 3 3s, run 1, damage 2. You've got your Mighty Kick and your Headbutt for some extra damage in there as well. The Stomp and Charge for mortal wounds on the charge, and the ability to do some auto slays as well. For me, they've also got that Throw and Rock, so with this and the Gatebreaker, which actually holds boulders as well, you've got a little bit of shooting to your force to add into those Cruel Boys, which are going to bring a lot of shooting for you. And so here we have our sample army list. Now we're going with the Breaker Tribe. And what's really cool about Breaker Tribes, first of all, is we do get to pick a cool ability called a Fierce Loathing. This effectively allows us just to get +1 to hit against a particular type of enemy. And the one we've gone for here is Idiots with Flags. In the current season, there are a lot of units on the table Effectively, you get to add +1 to hit to a unit if you are fighting a unit that's either a totem or has any command models in it. This includes champions. Unfortunately, this doesn't include models with the elite special rule, so that is something to remember. A grand strategy will be take what's theirs, going into our opponent's territory and taking their stuff, and then inspired for a triumph of +1 a wound, always solid on Gargans. Now, our Gatebreaker Mega Gargan is going to be our general, and we're going to have the command trait Extremely Bitter. This allows us to pick a second fifth loathing, so we're going to go Wannabes, where we get to add 1 to hit rolls against monsters and war machines. Now, the one we're missing out on is the one that will target enemy heroes and wizards. However, getting monsters, for me, this is going to give us the +1 to hit against enemy monsters that are also heroes in the same thing. Generally, the monsters we're probably going to actually be wanting to get the bonuses against. I don't think a Mega Gargan is too scared of monsters that aren't heroes. Now, the last thing we've got is we've got the Gatebreaker, which is the relic for this warlord, and this is going to allow, if your modified hit roll for an attack made with the bearer's Fort Crusher flail is a 6, it'll inflict D3 mortal wounds in addition to any other damage it inflicts, just really pumping up that damage, which is awesome. Battle line wise, Man Crusher Gargan, but also don't remember that Gatebreaker Mega Gargan is battle line as well, so that's how we're getting our 2 units in there. Other unit-wise, we've got our Man-Skewer Bolt Boys in Big Grick's Cruel Shots, along with Big Grick himself and the Beast-Skewer Killbow. In the Regiment of Renown Battalion, this means we're going to be a 3-drop force with 63 wounds. Allies, 310 out of 200. That sounds weird, but remembering with the Regiments of Renown, you can spend as many points as you want on a Regiment of Renown, so long as it's your only allies choice and it stops you taking any others anyway. Now, reinforced units, none, 980 out of 1,000. Like I said, there's 10 points shy of being able to include Brod in this list. So if he ever drops 10 points, he can fit in here as well if you really want. But I think this is a really good way to get a Gargan's Force on the table that little bit cheaper. The Bolt Boys there you can find pretty cheap on somewhere like eBay because they obviously came in the starter set. The Killbow, saves you a ton of money. 1-Man Crusher Gargan and a Mega Gargan. If you're wanting to get a Gargan army on the table nice and quick, this is probably the best way to get a Gargan Force on the table quick. Give you a good solid start. Those Bolt Boys, even if you don't want to keep them there for all time, they are a cool option for your force, but they also probably have a decent amount of resellability, being, a readily available kit, and you're probably not spending an awful lot on the Bolt Boys either if you do pick them up on a second-hand site as well. But if you've got some ideas, if you've got another Mega Gargan combo that you particularly like instead of our Gatebreaker there, let us know our thoughts down in the comments below. And so that's the end of the video. We hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our fantastic little community here, we have a Discord server which is linked down in the video's description. Also linked down in the video's description are the best ways to help support the channel. If you would like to, you can do so either by YouTube members or Patreon, or by grabbing yourself some merch at Teespring or at our Ko-fi store. All of them are linked down in the video's description. As a special thank you to our Patreons and YouTube members, we'd like to give you all a shout out. So thank you to our Patreons, Christian Weir, Soren, Kenny Lowe, Outer Shot First, Andrew Bowen, The Rising Ape, Q Dynamic, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Benjamin Swallers, Redman, Iron Grinch, Nicholas Colomos, Colorblind Magic, Grimscold, and Andy C. And to our YouTube members, Greenrich Gaming, Ronya, Lock Lorick, The Johnny 84, David Ellsworth, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Revenar, Pink Nico Fire, Robin Mankiller, Monty's Tabletop Terrain, John Castle, Davis Weird, James Tillman, Gargamel 196, and Disco. Lastly, a special thanks, first of all, to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing art for the channel, everyone who helps come and provide the games for everyone to watch on the channel as well, and indeed all our fantastic mods and members of the community who keep our Discord and comment section a fantastic place for all to be. Thank you all once again, everyone. Stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the grey. Ciao for now.